Welcome to According to Low Elo, guys. My name is Dean.
I'm Tyler.
And I'm Steven.
Steven's joining us today.
Steven Blum.
Hello.
Steven Blum. Yeah, you've been on a few times. Glad to have you back.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
today we have. I know we were talking about we don't want to be shitting on Riot all the fucking time, but
We do, but we don't.
why is this called 13.1b?
They don't know why it's called 13.1b.
So of course, if you've been hiding under a rock, Riot got hacked, and some like security shit. What I don't even fucking know what the full. Okay, let's read it right here.
I
It said,
really didn't fucking understand
social
what they were
engineering
saying.
attack. Social
I don't know what that
engineering
means. What does that mean?
It's a
I don't
hack.
know. But the crazy thing is the people that did it sent them a ransom, and I was like,
Yes.
what?
I did see that. I'm like, what is
What year is
ransomware?
I did not see that. That sounds great.
Oh, you missed out, Steven. It was.
It's like it's
it
very.
was some shit.
And then they're like, "Oh, we wanted to be transparent." I'm like, this is one of the things I just don't give two shits about. I just
Sure.
I know a lot of stuff. It had to do something with them. So they stated that I think the Ari visual whatever the fuck isn't coming on this patch, and then a lot of the PBE stuff couldn't go through. So ASOL is, I don't know. It's just I don't understand why has to be 0.1b. I don't get it. This is
Just because it does, okay?
this is
Can
for
you just-
sure its whole patch.
Can you just, okay? Just,
No, stop.
okay?
No. It's very confusing. It doesn't make any sense, but it doesn't matter. We got a lot of fucking changes. I know a lot of people have already heard about these marksman changes, the crit changes. Let's get into this. So as I said, they got hacked, ransom, whatever. Weird enough, the patch isn't coming out until the 26th. We're recording this on the 24th. They're calling this a hot fix. I don't know what the fuck. I'm gonna be so angry this episode.
Not really a hot fix if they're
That's what I'm saying.
changing marksman stuff. So.
This was our last episode. Tyler.
Anything but a hot fix.
This
that's all I'm
is
saying.
like a preseason patch. Like there's so much shit is happening on this. So let's look at the highlights. You know, a lot of nerfs happening, a lot of system changes.
This is a fuck. This is actually a metric fuck ton of nerfs.
It's nuts.
Only $3.
Right.
Well, you know what? What does that tell you about the game, Steven?
it
It's
sucks.
pretty well balanced.
It's
Oh.
not in a good state. Well, you get the picture, anyways.
So what I want to suggest how we navigate this is actually starting with items, because the item changes affect some champion changes, and it would make sense to go through items, champions.
Okay.
Cool with you?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So on the right side, if you scroll down, it'll say ADC class adjustment. So let's go there. And I guess enough people complained about ADCs being too weak, which I guess all the time is fucking happening because that role just sounds like people bitching about that. Yeah, right. It's actually doing something. Freak is doing something, and yeah,
Freak for the people, dude.
I
That's all I'm
will-
saying.
I will say this: I've been duoing some with Purple.
Yeah.
And he exclaimed a problem to me the other day that was it just doesn't feel like you can carry from an ADC role.
I think that's just a purple issue.
No, because we do fine,
I'm
but
just kidding.
we have to have a team around us, and
Right.
it can't really be an AD carry if you can't carry.
That's true. Okay, I'll take that. I'll buy that.
No,
Can't
that's
be a-
fair.
Right. Right.
I'm sure Riot wants to make. Well, they want to make every champion, every role, be able
Have an
to
opportunity.
be sure. And if you've been playing this game long enough, everyone used to know that the original build would either be like. I remember rushing Bloodthirster, but that was before Bloodthirster had crit. Everyone would just rush Infinity Edge, and it's like whoever got to IE first, pretty much shat on lane. So then they had that horrible fucking. We were going over it on the last episode, the preseason stuff, when they did that whole change where like Infinity Edge did true damage and all these pros fucking quit playing ADC. So they're swinging pretty hard at this to try to bring this into like to make it more plausible and feel more impacted rather than like waiting to get the fucking 3 or 4 items.
Right.
So we're going to start with the two biggest things here, obviously. Infinity Edge and Navori.
Navori quick blades, dude. That is an item so underused, and I'm actually happy to see it on this list.
It was worse last year. I think because they revamped it in preseason, right? Where it kind of felt useless. And then they pretty much gave you the player a choice between Infinity Edge or Quick Blades. You can only buy one or the other.
Right.
I don't know how we feel about. Do you feel 40% of the crit chance threshold is dropping from 60% to 40%. So you can second item Infinity Edge or Navori rather than a third item.
I'm okay with that. There's champions like Lucian that can make use of either item. And it kind of, I think it becomes more situational, right? Depending on what you're playing against, like if you're Lucian, you're probably going to want to bully somebody and be able to use your abilities so you can use your Light Slinger more often if you're playing into that kind of lane. Whereas maybe if you're playing a little bit more of a passive lane, you might opt for Infinity Edge thinking like, hey, I probably can't get in there and trade with my abilities so much, so I have to trade with auto attacks and save my abilities for when someone's just going to dive on top of me. So it makes both these items more of a situational purchase, and I think I do like that.
In my case, I think personally it's just going to make ADCs hit their power spike a lot sooner.
Sure.
Because you pretty much just second item IE or Navori, and you become strong. I think it's going to be I think, again, it's going to be a race to get Infinity Edge.
So, for those who may have forgotten, Navori, what it does, 60 AD, 20 ability haste, 20% crit chance. If you have at least, and it's going to be at least 40% crit chance, basic attacks on attack reduce your basic abilities' current cooldowns by 15% of their remaining cooldown. Was it prior to preseason? You had to crit to get the refund, right? I think that's how it was.
I think so.
So, I mean, already in preseason, this feels pretty okay. This is just normal basic attacks. So, like, and then your ability damage and proc damage dealt by abilities is increased by 0 to 20% based on critical strike chance. So it gives you more damage on your abilities.
Oh, for sure.
So that's why I think if I had to go, and of course everyone knows what Infinity Edge does. It just gives you 35% bonus crit damage.
Bonus crit damage. Yep. Mm-hmm. Can't hate on bonus crit damage. It's great.
That's a lot of fucking damage. That's so much more damage. But Lucian is the perfect example for this because obviously he's a spellcaster. Mm-hmm. This feels so insanely OP. Just second, what's also crazy is like I know they changed Essence Reaver, so it's like I could see a lot of Essence Reaver gives cooldown reduction, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can see a world where like Lucian doesn't even go
Mythic till third item.
Yeah, he can just go Essence Reaver, Navori. That's a shitload of cooldown reduction.
I see exactly. Like there's definitely a choice to make there, right? And I think that's matchup specific because Lucian makes really good use of Gale Force. He does okay use with Kraken Slayer. I'm not a big fan of Kraken Slayer and Lucian, though you can do it. But he also makes really good use of Cringe Bow. And so the option of going, do you go that Mythic and then you second item Navori or IE, or do you say to hell with that, give me like you said Essence Reaver and Navori, and then start building your Mythic. So there's a definite choice to be made there, and again I think it's very situational, but I think that brings some more fun to the style of gameplay, if that makes sense.
I think this also affects obviously
Tryndamere?
like
100% Tryndamere.
Yeah,
he's not on the nerfs in this patch.
Yeah,
Bro,
that's one.
He can first buy Navori.
Yeah. It's gonna affect the current Ezreal build.
Yes.
And then it's also gonna affect Jhin pretty hard. I think Jin's gonna kind of catapult up into a good position with this.
Jhin, second item Infinity Edge on Jhin is gonna be fucking nasty.
Yeah.
Right. I was gonna say because Jhin won't make use of Navori, but he'll make good use of IE.
Yeah, and he used to build it third item.
Right.
So the other thing I've been seeing people, and I know I've mentioned this, I'm pretty confident this is gonna kill collector. I feel like there's no point to go collector.
I hope so. I fucking hate that.
Yeah, I mean, I very rarely build it.
Because like, so it felt good on second items just because, and I know Tyler, you talked about this. It's weird. It's a lethality item, but it has crit, so it's like not a lot of assassins are probably gonna try to buy it because it just
but
the
it's
crit just feels
to be
weird.
An assassin item. That's
Right.
the weirdest part about it. Yeah.
And I know people like to go for the execute, but I know we talk about 5% being everything, but like that threshold is like, I don't know, but Jin already does like executing damage on the 4th shot.
Right.
It's like I feel like I would rather have that 35%. Just no, that's also and they get reduced crit damage. Never mind.
I was gonna say if you weigh it out, and I'm not gonna do the math on this. I'm not gonna attempt to do the math on this. If you weigh it out, do you think that what do you get? You get 15 lethality from collector?
Yeah, I think so.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that 15 lethality at second item is worth about as much as the extra crit damage?
No.
You think? I would say I think the crit damage is better, right?
Right, Infinity Edge better. Yeah, that's what.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So I wonder if in a later patch, and I know it's not this patch. I just wonder if in a later patch they'll decide that they want to up the lethality on collector to make it a debate, if that makes sense.
How about we remove the crit on it and
Yeah,
up the
I'm cool with that.
lethality. Up the lethality.
I'm super cool with that, and make it an assassin item like it's supposed to be, not an ADC item. Sure. I have a bone to pick with that item, so.
Also, just a side note, and we can move on unless Steven has something else. Can we just get a meter to tell me how much fucking gold I've gotten from collector? Just
That would be great. A counter on it. I mean,
yeah,
a lot of legendaries have counters.
and a lot don't. I don't
A
get
lot don't. Some that should. It would be actually really nice if they could sort of affect every item. Does blood? And I don't. Maybe I'm wrong. Does Bloodthirster tell you how much damage you've blocked with the
Yes.
Overheal shield? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. If you can tell me that, you can tell me how much extra damage I've done with either collector or how much gold I've earned with collector. Give me something. I guess I don't know how much gold I got with collector because if you got the kill, you either got it or you don't. But the damage, the execute damage I've done versus the crit damage I've done with IE would be a really awesome little counter to have at the bottom of that item. I like that idea.
Steven, do you have anything else to talk about Infinity Edge or Navori?
No, not really. I think
Okay,
that's
cool.
about it.
All right, we'll move on then. Speaking of Bloodthirster,
Yep. Draven special.
yeah, tell me about it.
We're losing 3% lifesteal from 18 to 15%. But we're gaining shield power. But the shield power, guys, this is the nuance. So let me just read it to you. Shield was 50 to 320. That's levels 1 through 18. So based on level, you're going to have a value between 50 and 320. That's changing. It's going to be 180 to 450, but it doesn't start until level 9. So levels 9 to 18, you're going to see that scaling between 180 and 450. This is telling you, do not buy this first or second. This is a third item.
And then the cost is going down.
The cost going down by 200 gold.
So I was actually talking to Purple about this, and it's like I think you might not even be hitting your. I think you might be hitting your second item at level
Right
9,
about level 9.
unless,
Right,
unless
right.
you're super fed or something, right?
Sure. It's going to be kind of close.
Right.
But is a 180 shield worth it for 15% lifesteal, or I think you can make better use out of a different second item.
I think
IE.
Well,
right.
this is also keeping its crit chance still, right?
right.
So, I mean, third
Right.
item, yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, late game, a 450 shield is pretty nice sounding.
yeah.
Oh,
That's
absolutely.
fat.
I think it's a great item to have. I just think that building
need
it
to get it
second
early.
is risky because if you're a champion that's going to build this second anyways, you're probably already going shield bow. So you have the lifesteal already in, and what you're getting this for is the extra lifesteal and damage with the shield, as opposed to the pure lifesteal like the Draven special. Even back in the day, even still currently before Mythics, was like you build Bloodthirster first. The hell with IE, you build Bloodthirster first, and then you carry on with the regular ADC build. So I think Draven might take a little bit of a hit, maybe.
I know we're not a math podcast, but I'm pretty sure if you did the math, I think 180 is a lower value than the old one at level 9. If I'm just looking
I
straight
will
at
look because the wiki will tell us actually.
because like you'd have to do what 320 by 18. I don't know if that would.
It's not always. I wish
Like
it was
linear
always that
like that?
simple.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not always linear.
We know Riot's gonna be like, oh, at level 2 it's 50.2 shield.
Let me see if they updated it. They did not update it yet.
not.
So let's see. Yeah, it's not necessarily linear. So level 1 is 50. See, level 9 is 177.06.
Okay, so it's about the same.
Relatively the same at level 9. So yeah.
All right, well,
but
fuck
you're going to
me.
get more on the back end.
Oh, no,
Way
yeah.
more on the back end.
A lot. That's a fucking big.
130?
Yeah.
That's almost a
big
ruby
shield.
crystal.
Price going down too feels good. All right. So I guess while we're here, that was pretty much it for the. They talk about the other items aren't really specifically for marksman. I have Bork and stuff, but let's kind of jump all over the place here. We'll just go through
We'll
these
go back up to
other
champions.
Yeah, we can go back to that, and then we'll come back down to the actual numbers for these champions.
Sure.
So we'll go back to the top.
All right, back to top with our general changes. Steven, tell me about this old pirate.
Oh yeah, this is someone who is impacted.
Yeah, and I'm not super happy about it.
As a GP player, Steven, I feel like you deserve to spill the beans on this one.
Well, his base stats, his AD growth is going down by 0.3, which isn't
Nothing.
too terrible much, but the bonus damage on critical strikes from his powder keg, his E, is going down by a whole 5%.
Wow, it's half.
That is a huge, huge number.
I mean,
You know why they're doing it though, right?
No, absolutely.
because you can literally
Build
go
IE
Essence River.
Second
or-
item.
See, Gangplank is another one that could benefit off either
Right.
of those.
Right. And they before they released this, when they were kind of talking about it, Gangplank was one of the champions they mentioned specifically as like, no, he's gonna take some nerfs for this.
Sure, it makes
But
sense.
why didn't they include Tryndamere?
Great question.
Or the wind shitters they get special treatment, so I'm not worried about that. But Tryndamere doesn't usually get special treatment, and because he makes such good use of crit, it surprises me that they wouldn't include him in some sort of nerf or make the items not work with him. I don't know. I feel like he's gonna be just a broken champion on this patch.
I agree, and I feel like that will be the next patch. They will definitely
Probably
hit him.
13.2.
At least for
No.
now. Once
It's
this
gonna
comes
be-
out, he's a ban.
Listen,
Oh,
it's gonna be
absolutely him and Maokai, 100% ban.
it ain't gonna be 13.2. It's gonna be 13.1C. Okay, that's how they're
Oh,
fucking doing
that's
this
right.
year.
I thought we had 13.1F.
No, we meme 5% is everything, but like that
That's
5% damage, when I used to play Gangplank a lot, and I would crit and a person would live. I mean, it's that collector threshold. Like it's that little
Sure.
extra. That 5% can make a difference when you hit a fucking barrel.
Well, that extra 5%, like, I will say this, the bonus damage on the crit strike is surprising when you get hit by it. Doesn't matter what champion you're playing, you get hit by it, and, like, it kind of, you feel it in your soul a little bit, like, ooh, that did a fuck ton of damage. And so to cut some of that bonus damage by half is actually rather nuts to me. I mean, I'm happy about it. I don't like to get crit like that. Don't get me wrong.
I'm glad Riot is looking ahead. Like they're
Right. They're thinking.
Wow. Woo.
They're thinking
All right.
with their
Yeah.
dipsticks.
All right. Now let's move on to Heimer. You gotta tell me about Heimer because I know you're frustrated with this motherfucker.
I played him once yesterday. I don't know how to do this and not. I didn't feed. I mean, don't get me wrong. I didn't do well, but I did set up a lot of plays for the team. Unfortunately, I just felt like I didn't play very well. So, if that's the case, and I don't play Heimer very often, it tells me he's broken, right? So, what are they doing to nerf this Heimer support? The Q turret health decrease and the W magic damage decreased because he pokes you with the Q and the W. He maxes W and he just maxes Q second so he can have enough turrets to lay down. So they're dropping the health. Let's see. The level 1, so it's based on level, and then it's based on your AP scaling is also based on your level. That's a
Wild.
fucking confusing sentence to say. So it was 175 to 700 based on level, with an additional 5 to 40% based on level of your AP. So that's either 5% at level 1 to 40% at level 18 of your AP was also giving to health. So that's going to change. Stick with me, guys. It is 130 to 640 based on level. So that's just the base health of the turrets. So at level 18, you get 640. And they're going to add 5 to 45% based on level of your total AP. So you're going to get a little bit more in the back half, but a little bit less in the early half. And the early half is what the fucking problem is.
Agreed.
The W, the Hextech Micro Rockets, the initial magic damage was 50 to 150 with a 45% AP ratio. It's going to go to 40 to 140 with a 55% AP ratio. Again, this is saying you can play them as support, go for it. You're going to take a damage nerf. Unless you're building full AP from the get-go, which you don't get to do with a support item, you're naturally hindered in how much AP you can build with that support item. So it is innately going to do less.
I think that's fair. I think what people complain about the most is, like you said, in lane. It's just, what are you fucking supposed to do?
Yeah.
In LEC, I was seeing people play Jhin support. Jhin support is a thing. You can Q grenade.
Too.
Yeah, you can Q grenade turrets, takes them out.
Right.
And I feel like as long as what's the really OP ward item that takes out wards?
Umbral Glaive. As long as Umbral Glaive
yeah.
exists,
As long as it interacts with ranged like that, Jhin support is a thing. So fucking stupid.
I've been saying that item needs to get nerfed on killing wards because it's just.
It literally needs to be a melee only item. That's all.
It needs to be a melee only item, or instead of being a 2-tap. Well, it's a 1-tap to kill a stealth ward, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's a 2-tap to kill a pink ward. It should be a 2-tap to kill either. I think that's the only fair way, because at least it still bears some risk. But that's not in this patch. That's a conversation for another day.
Right. Moving on to Casadino. E cooldown increased. I know I think Ryze is on this list, but after those the Rod of Ages changes and the Seraphs, super hyper scaling AP mid laners that like to build mana are really OP. So yeah, E cooldown increased. It was 21 to 13 seconds. Now it's staying at 21, but then it is going to reach. It's going to be at 17 at max rank. So I believe this is still. I think you max the second still. So I mean, 4 seconds is going to feel like a lot.
Yeah, that is a lot.
All right, Steven, hit me with Kindred.
So Kindred is obviously going to be one of those champions that's affected by the ADC changes, but just in general recently, I feel like Kindred's been pretty strong.
Yep.
So she's getting a Q base damage decrease. Physical damage is going from 60 to 160 plus 75% of your bonus AD to 50 to 150 plus 75% of your bonus AD.
Pretty minor.
Yeah.
I do want to note that I don't know, and we haven't got to bug fixes. I don't know that they fixed the
mark
bug
thing?
on her marks,
bro.
Because it was always supposed to spawn at crap. Did we? I know you and I did. I don't know if we talked about it on an episode, but we talked about it personally between you and I.
Because I'd be playing. I was a few games where I played Kindred, and again, the mark usually maybe we're wrong. It's supposed to spawn on a scuttle crab. But I'm pretty sure it did. But the marker on the mini map appeared on the enemy Krugs.
Right, I was gonna say, I think it was enemy Krugs, right?
I was like, the fuck is this?
Fucking ridiculous. Yeah, we're like, what the fuck happened?
I'm pretty confident it was a visual bug, but
probably.
Yeah, I'd be curious. Yeah, it was pretty annoying. But
I mean, in fairness, the Rise and water walking bug still exists, which I didn't even know about.
We didn't know.
And that's existed for a lot fucking longer than this bug has. So
I just learned
who
about
knows
that
if this
one
one ever gets fixed.
Yeah, I told him about that, Steven, about that the other day. But I know Rise is on the list, so we can talk about that when we get there.
Broken. Anyways.
All right. You want to talk about
deer?
Wiwia? Whatever the fuck they said. Wiwia? I don't get it.
It's a Wiwia.
Don't do that ever again.
That's
Don't
what
stop.
that's from.
Nope.
That's what that's from.
Nope.
So passive AP scaling increased, Q AP scaling increased, E AP scaling increased. Cooldown now decreases with rank. So the little blurb is going to explain this a little bit. So it says, between her recent nerfs and the upcoming nerfs to Demonic Embrace, this patch, we want to make sure we don't kill ya Lilia. All right, the ooh was better than that. We're tuning up her AP ratios for the most part, so she feels better about building and stacking more AP in her builds. So the passive, the Dream Laden Bow, magic damage was 5% plus 1.2% per 100 AP of the target's max health. It's gonna be 5% plus 1.5% per 100 AP of target's max health. The Q Blooming Blows. Why did I always think that was Booming Blows? Maybe because Blooming Blows is hard to say. The base magic damage is going to stay the same, 35 to 75. But the AP ratio is going to change. It's going to go up 5% from 40 to 45% AP. And the outer edge true damage is going to be the same. So you get the extra, instead of dealing magic damage, it's true damage. Same scaling. And then the E Swirl Seed, which is the bowling ball. The base damage on that is going to stay the same at 70 to 170. But you're going to get a hell of an AP ratio increase from 45% to 60%. And the cooldown was 16 seconds on all ranks. It's going to be 14 seconds. But it's going to decrease with rank. So 16 to 14 max rank. I think it just says 14 seconds. I'm guessing on what the fuck they actually meant because, again, no one ever proofreads these fucking things.
No, they really fucking don't.
They don't, and it pisses me off. But I don't want to go into that, so...
No, we love Riot. No, the E is big. For an extra 15 AP.
It's fucking huge, because this is like the ability you just throw down a lane to get some free damage.
I'm curious if this brings back top lane Lilia.
Oh, 100% will.
You know what's also funny? I'm pretty sure, so, separate topic, ARAM. She is buffed on ARAM.
I think so.
So this is
This is nasty.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's ARAM nerfs in this patch. I haven't even looked.
It says there's balance adjustments, but
she might be on that list.
Maybe.
Possibly. Who knows? Sometimes they don't do that until later. Just like some of those Rift, they'll wait.
Absolutely.
Okay, here's the man of the hour coming up next.
Here we go. I mean, to be fair, it's just a bunch of base shit, but let's find out. Lucian getting hit with some nerfs. Base mana was 349, now it is 320. Mana growth was 38, but that's going up to 43. Base mana regen was 8.18 to 7. That, of course, is per 5 seconds.
Oh, that's going to hurt.
And then the mana regen growth is 0.7, or was 0.7, now it is 0.8. I still feel like...
I guess that levels out at level 18, but it's going to hurt because he's such a spellcaster.
I mean, you just build Essence River. And I think
but does that solve the problem? I think that makes the problem less bad, but I don't know if it solves it. I think he's still going to feel like that's going to hurt. Because, yes, Essence Reaver does give you mana back on crit, but you have to make sure you get a crit.
Is it? No, I'm pretty sure it's anything. It's a Spellblade. I
thought it was mana back on crit.
No, it's a Spellblade. Let's see.
Unless that might have been the old way it used to be. I could be wrong.
After using an ability, your next basic attack on hit within 10 seconds deals blah 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 blah. And wait, why is this not telling me? Hold on. Oh, there we go. It restores your next basic attack, restores mana equal to 40% base AD plus 16% bonus AD.
Got it. Okay.
It's
so
on
I think it used to be on crit, and that probably got changed a while back, and I forgot about it. So, my apologies.
Yeah, that's why I think it's. That's why we're saying
that's hella popular.
I think it's Essence Reaver, Navori, Essence Reaver, Infinity Edge. I think he could get away without a fucking mythic.
So the only thing he's gonna sacrifice in that situation is lifesteal.
Unless he's running it on whatchamacallit.
Sure, which a lot of them are, but that's so minor.
Yeah.
Was it
it's like
6%, I think? Yeah.
When it's maxed out.
Right. Plus your Omnivamp from your Doran's Blade, but that's so minor. Especially because early you're not doing a whole lot of damage, so you're not getting great value on that lifesteal versus like a shield bow. So you're gonna sacrifice some safety for the aggression, and I think that's a fair trade. I do think that's a very fair trade.
I'm also curious if this would bring back Lucian mid or Lucian top, especially because I think Nami is getting nerfed.
I think so.
Mhm.
I would not be surprised if we see top lane Lucian, mid lane
I'm thinking
Lucian.
about it. Does Lucian not even build a mythic until 4th item? Because he
No.
could totally go right into Bork.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they still rush mythics, but you realistically, I mean, if it's cheaper, you could probably get away without having to do one. Because like,
Yeah, that's what I'm
what's
saying. Because he's such a good Bork user just because of the passive.
the rundown?
Yeah, that Jesus fuck. I didn't even
Yeah, I
think
feel
about
like
that.
Lucian's gonna be
Holy
OP.
shit. Yeah, that's you're gonna have to ban this champion.
'Cause, like, Yeah, if you can get away without going a mythic, like sure, you have the fucking dash, you have the true damage, or you have lifesteal and the shield. Like realistically, sure, attack speed is okay, but I mean he's a spellcaster. You can
Right.
just rush Ionians, Essence Reaver, Navori. You have so much ability haste that you're gonna be
Yes.
slinging spells like
Yep.
out the ass.
Yep.
So maybe this is people telling you, or this is us telling you, play Lucian solo lane.
Yeah,
It'll probably work.
it probably does work really well.
I'm sure-
Especially
I'm
because
sure
there's
we're
all
gonna
those
see it a
tanks
lot
on the
again.
top side.
What was that, Steven?
I said I'm sure we're going to be seeing a lot more of it again.
Oh yeah.
Can't
oh,
wait.
Yeah.
All right. Tell me about Maokai, Steven.
Ooh.
So Maokai
Most broken, maybe tied to be the most broken jungler on the patch.
feels
For no reason.
yeah
No,
feels like
it-
another balancing nightmare.
Right.
Well, his Q Bramble Smash is getting bonus damage to monsters decreased by 20 across the board. So from 120 to 200 is its current, 100 to 180 will be its ladder. The other thing is going to be his E Sapling Toss, which I don't feel like it does that much anyway, but it's going from 55 to 155 plus 6% bonus health plus 40% AP to 55 to 155 doing 5% bonus health and 35% AP. The empowered sapling magic damage from 110 to 310, 12% bonus health, 80% AP. 110 to 310, 10% bonus health, 70% AP. That is a
It's-
mouthful.
So no one's playing support Maokai, and I feel like this definitely nerfs the fuck out of support Maokai. But I know it's aimed for the jungle. Definitely aimed for the jungle.
It's
But
and
it's-
we'll get to items because it's about demonic.
it's the top lane special now.
I think they it looks like they're nerfing the health scaling, but like first of all, I will say his Q does an absurdly amount of damage to jungle creeps. Like you just fucking
Nice.
Q and it does so much fucking damage.
It does
clear-
more damage than you think it does. It's the crazy. Not even just to jungle creeps, but to champions as well.
Yeah.
It does max HP, I think, right?
I think so.
It does a lot of damage, so I understand that they want to slow down his clear. They obviously like him being in the jungle, or else they would have just completely gutted that.
Oh sure. He's just
the
too
s-
powerful compared to everybody else.
The saplings are very OP. There have been,
yeah.
I mean, I played a handful of Maokai games in the last few days. I literally just rush demonic, and obviously the time that the saplings stay in bush is based on, it increases with your max HP, so you're stacking HP. Those fucking things can be in there for like a minute and a half. I've gotten just random fucking kills, and I know everyone's gotten that, especially like in the old AP Maokai. But like you'll
Yeah.
just be chilling, and then a fucking sapling will get a kill for you because you're just
Yeah.
littering them everywhere. It's
I
broken.
remember I used to get that shit when Maokai support was hella popular. I'd like throw it. My favorite was to throw it if you're on blue side. You throw it in that bush on near blue buff in between river and like Gromp or whatever. And a jungler would just unsuspectingly go there for like to base if they're kind of low, maybe doing drag or something like that, and you just get a free kill. Or the mid laner is roaming down there trying to get away, and you just end up with a free kill, and like you just laugh because it's so unexpected, and that was not the intention of placing that sapling there, and so it's just kind of funny.
Very OP.
Oh yeah.
All right, here's your fish.
Oh, my mermaid, my whatever she is, fish lady. Nami, W adjusted, E base damage decreased. That's really not bad at all, to be honest. But W ebb and flow, magic damage was 70 to 230 with a 50% AP ratio. It's now 60 to 220 with a 55% AP ratio. 5% is everything. And if you know anything about Nami right now, you should be actually just building AP on her anyways.
Death cap, second item.
So, third item, but yeah, sure. You should be getting Dark Seal and getting Medjai's, and yeah, you're just gonna build AP on her. You're gonna build your one support item, and that's about it. Tidecaller's Blessing, her E, is just taking a base damage nerf by 5 at every rank. So from 25 to 85 with a 20% AP ratio to 20 to 80, keeping the same AP ratio. So not a huge nerf. I don't know that it's enough to shove her in the ground, but it's enough to delay some of her damage. And that's kind of a big part of why she's so strong, is it's not even her healing. It's just the amount of damage she does with that fucking skill.
Right.
So,
we got Oriana up next.
oh, the ball lady.
Yeah, go for it, Steven.
All right. So she's getting a laundry list of nerfs.
Yeah.
Or no, this is a buffs.
Yep.
Haha.
Oh, yeah.
I gotta read more.
We do
Don't
it
worry.
all the fucking
we do
time.
Yeah.
we do.
So her passive, Clockwork Windup, is going from so specifically the TikTok part of Clockwork Windup is going 10 to 50 levels 1, 4, 7, 10, 13, and 16 to 10 to 50 levels 1 through 18.
Literally, yeah,
It's-
right.
Yeah.
They're just updating the way it scales instead of scaling randomly at random levels. That's be more even scaling.
Yeah, and that's just an update. The damage is completely unchanged.
Yep.
So Q, command attack. Pass-through damage reduction. The ball deals 100% damage to the first target hit, and damage afterwards is reduced by 10% per enemy hit. And this is changing to the ball deals 100% damage on the first target hit, and damage afterwards is reduced to 70%
Wow.
to all the enemies after the first hit.
That
Okay.
is fucking fat. The first thing that comes to mind, she's gonna be able to push minion waves really fucking fast.
Mm-hmm.
Or kill
Yeah.
them really fast.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow. Okay.
And then her W command, I cannot pronounce that.
Dissonance?
Yeah.
Thank you. Mana cost is going from 70 to 110 to 70 to 90. So it's going to
Okay.
be lower later. And then her
Okay.
R, which is command shockwave, magic damage going from 200 to 350 plus 80% AP, is going from 250 to 450 with 90%
Holy
AP. So
shit.
a pretty
That's
big
fat.
buff there.
That is fat. I mean, Shockwave already does a fuck ton of damage, like a metric fuck ton of damage. I don't know why we always say metric, because that's smaller than a regular ton, but it does a fuck ton of damage already. That's huge.
That's pretty fat.
Wow.
That's
Wow.
pretty big.
50 early, 100 late, and then 10% AP scaling. And at that point, while you're late, the extra 10% could be, I mean, it could be another 100 AP almost.
Yeah.
Not, I mean, it's not going to be 100 AP, but it could be
Right.
another 50 AP.
I think we're going to see Oriana come back in pro play with this.
It's
'Cause
just
Right.
like-
She's just a little underwhelming as she was, and I think with
Right.
this it might push her into it.
Unpopular opinion, I can't stand Oriana in pro play. It's so boring to me because you play around one thing, put the ball on someone and press shockwave.
Yep.
I don't know. It's just not as exciting to me personally as some of you guys might like it, and that's okay. That's okay.
right.
But Dean, go ahead and tell us about the purple dude.
Right.
This is
Right.
you. This is Grimace right here, okay?
Um, so yeah, first of all, what we mentioned earlier is we had no idea that this bug existed, but apparently Rise and Water Walking, that combination is banned in pro play because there is a bug that is exploited when Rise gains more, when he gains AP, he increases his max mana. Water Walking gives you AP when you walk in the river, and like there'd just be a weird bug interaction where it'd keep lowering his max mana or from like what it, and you would just regen.
Yeah.
It was very small when I went and tested it. It like wasn't that like crazy early levels, but like if I was full 6 items and like, you know, whatever Rise gets like 4,000 mana by that point, it was like recovering like 300 to 400 mana every time I would just step out of the water. It's
That's
fucking crazy.
Ridiculous, dude.
So yeah, that was weird. That has nothing to do with what they're changing here. Just want to say Rise is kind of OP. But base magic resistance was 36. Now it is 32, and then his passive, it's okay. It kind of has to do with the mana thing. 10% per 100 AP. Now it is 6% per 100 AP for his
That's pretty fat.
mana increase. Yeah, 4%. That's pretty big.
That's pretty
Not
fat.
5%, but pretty big.
4%. So, River Rise, yeah?
Oh my god.
This isn't River Shen. Stop it.
Oh. Alright, I guess I'll do the new deer. Q80 scaling decreased, attack speed increased, R base damage decreased. If you guys have run across Udyr, it is the support Udyr build that's popular right now with the Radiant Dawn and the Staff of Flowing Water. So I think they're just trying to change some stuff here. And then obviously the Demonic Embrace is, I think, in that build as well. And with the nerfs on that, they're just doing some adjustments. So his Q, Wilding Claw, the bonus physical damage is going to keep the same base, 3 to 8% based on rank. It was 5% per bonus AD additional. It's going to drop to 4% per 100 bonus AD additional damage to that. But the bonus attack speed is going to go up on this. So you can lose a little bit of damage, but get the attack speed, so it kind of works out, I guess. At level 1, it's going to be the same, 20, and it scaled 20 to 70, but now it's going to scale 20 to 80% bonus attack speed. So they're trying to give you an option to build a Qmax version of Udyr as opposed to the, I think it's Rmax right now currently, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that Rmax goes away after this nerf here, but the bonus damage per tick on the Wingborn Storm is going to drop late. So it was 10 to 60. It's going to go to 10 to 55.
Yeah, it's
I don't think it does a whole lot to it. I see where they're trying to incentivize you to maybe put some extra points in the queue, because at rank 3, actually at rank 2, it's already a better ability than it was before in terms of attack speed, but I don't think that really makes a difference till rank 4 or rank 5 when you're talking 8% better attack speed to counter the damage loss. So just something to think about there.
I don't know. I always felt like AD Udyr, at least for the new. Well, they had for a while. There was the fucking Prowler's Claw thing. Yeah, you could one shot people. But I just feel like it's just going R. I was gonna say Phoenix. Whatever. You know what I mean. Going Phoenix. Because if you go Phoenix,
Arctic Phoenix, fuck it.
You can either go AP or you can go tank. Because like the tank is always good because you're just fucking up in people's faces. You're slowing them. You're doing AOE damage. And you're just a fucking rock. Whereas AD, you can't really do like Qmax and then tank. It just doesn't make sense.
No.
So, I don't know if the attack speed is going to be enough.
It's just another option, I think. It depends, I think, too, if you're playing lane versus jungle. Because if you're playing lane, I feel like you can get away with the AD style just because you are going to try to trade with that. You know what I mean? And you are going to try to clear with it as well. So I think there's worlds where you could do it. I still agree that I think the Phoenix is probably the better. And when I say Phoenix, I mean the Frost Phoenix, like Anivia, where he gets the skill from, guys. I think that's probably still the better build, though.
All right. I really want to talk about Yuumi here, because I feel like we need to have
Dean's
like
favorite champion to hate?
We need to have a eulogy right now, because this champion is not... She is not going 6 feet deep. She is going fucking 69 feet deep. This champion is fucking dead, because this was the only thing I looked at before recording this episode.
Okay, did you ever see the movie Casino with Joe Pesci? When they, I think they get his brother and they beat the ever-living fuck out of his brother right in front of him and make him watch. And then they kill Joe Pesci and throw him in the same hole. That's Yuumi right now. She is Joe Pesci getting thrown in the hole.
What about in Office Space where they take the fucking
She's
printer?
the fax machine.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. That should be the thumbnail, by the way.
The shit
Damn,
out of
it
it.
feels good to be a gangster.
Okay. So anyways, yeah, everyone hates this fucking champion, and it looks like Riot is nuking her again. So attack range decreased. Passive now temporarily increases attack range, but let's check it out. So attack range was 500. Now it is 425. Base attack damage was 55. Now it is 49. Base health was 550. Now it is 500. Base health regeneration was 7, and now it is 5. But bringing it up to the passive, New. When Bop and Block is ready, Yumi will gain 25 bonus range for that attack only. That is still an overall nerf, so it would make it 450. And then the shield
I do
strength.
like that.
What's
Go
that?
ahead. I'm sorry. I said I do like that, but go ahead. Continue.
That's fine. Yeah. Shield strength was 60 to 380 based on level. Now it is 45 to 300 based on level. So pretty decently sized nerf there.
I think that's a fair nerf though, because if she had that extra range and kept the same amount of shield, that'd still be pretty gross. Like, hey, we're gonna give you an extra 25 range. You're gonna get less value out of your shield, but you're gonna be able to use your passive more, which they don't mention here. Does allow her to stack mana. Again, the rest of that doesn't fucking matter because of what you're about to hear.
Yeah. Adaptive Force on her W was a 12 to 20 plus 12 to 20% of bonus. Now it is 12 to 20, but it's only 6 to 10% bonus. So it's literally getting cut in half. That's a pretty big doozy.
That's the one to me that just annihilates this champion in terms of being useful.
I think this is another thing that no one ever just really talked about. This champion just gives you free stats for sitting on you. Why? Why is that a fucking thing?
I didn't like it, but I understand it. I understand it because her existence in a game
shouldn't be happening.
Sure.
Should have never happened, yeah.
It's a 5v5. The inherent existence of a Yumi is a 4v5 now, right? You have a champion that has increased abilities and skills and power, but you lose the flanking or positioning of another champion. That you lose that in a team fight completely. So she turns it into like a skirmish style of game, you know what I mean? Where you're trying to make these picks and play maybe 3v3s or 2v3s or whatever, because she really isn't a champion. On her own, she's fucking useless. We know this, right? When she's dismounted, she's a useless pile of donkey shit. However, attached to a champion, she makes that champion just that much better. So that's supposed to be her weakness, I guess. So I the adaptive force piece never really killed me as a big part of her kit or as being a problem of her kit. It's literally everything else in her fucking kit that kills me.
I mean, the only thing I would argue against that is like if she was well, first of all, it's just the way she's played. Like you said, she just sits on you, so it's like that player who's playing Yumi just literally has to do nothing but press E
for
the most part, and then like say you're giving that adaptive force to like a Kaisa that's like 20-1 with like 5 items that just like makes it's super fed, like almost another champion in itself, and it's a champion that you'd want a double of, not another fucking like cat that's doing nothing.
But that's a trade-off, right? That's the trade-off is you lose the extra champion on the board to increase the power of this champion.
But the champion on the board the Yumi isn't the same as a super fed 80 carry.
So I think of it as not a Yumi. Think of it as any Maokai, any other champion that could exist on the board. Now it doesn't. You pluck that champion off, but you get a super soldier in return. I don't think that's a terrible trade-off. I think it's a rather fair trade-off in my opinion. We could go back and forth on it. The point is the super soldier part's getting fucking nerfed into the ground. And we didn't get to her E yet, but that's getting punished as well. So
yeah, so this one also confuses me. I'm assuming this is a typo because it says removed movement speed 20% plus 2 per 100 AP, and then it just says to 20.
Yeah, they just said that stupidly.
I don't.
Like, I don't know what else to put it. It's bad.
Because when I saw this, I read it as they just removed the movement speed aspect. I'm like, oh, that is fucking in the dirt. Like. But I mean, okay, to be fair, I mean, she
still built APs. She still gave you a fuck ton of movement speed because artillery Yumi was still a thing. So
right, so now that's no longer a thing.
Right.
Fuck this champion.
I think that's the part that really kills her because when we talk about the super soldier thing, is like she could get somebody out of trouble, healing them and letting them sprint away faster than fuck. Like you said, a Kaisa who has an E that already gives her fucking movement speed real fast. You know, like that's disgusting. I played a game against a Vlad Yumi lane, and he would just activate Ghost, and they're on the other side of the map before you've even thought about it with the E and Ghost. It's fucking disgusting, fucking stupid, and frustrating to play against because especially with Vlad, he can pool and you can't do anything to either. There's now 2 untargetable champions on the fucking map, and there's nothing you could do to them. So that was dumb. That's just furthering the point of how ridiculous it can be.
This is my last thing, and then Steven, if you want to say anything. If this is a message to any teammates, if you pick Yuumi, you're fucking getting
Troll.
reported because it's not only do I hate that champion, it's a fucking troll to just even
Teemo.
pick this champion now.
Teemo's a better pick.
I think
This champion is just dead. It's not worth it.
honestly, even before this, like people pick Yuumi, and especially in our elo, it just feels like they're actually not there. Like
Right.
I could see a higher elo person picking it and it being good because they're doing stuff, but
Sven?
yeah, right. But no, it just I had a Yuumi support the other day, and it just felt like I was laning by myself.
That's the one thing I don't like. I personally prefer to have a champion than a Yuumi,
Yeah,
just because I know that I play like a bitch. So like I want someone else to be there. I don't like to be in command of everything. I don't want to be in command of 2 champions movements. So don't make me play like a bitch by picking Yuumi. However, I don't mind picking Yuumi if someone's okay with it. Like, but I wouldn't do it now, obviously, with these nerfs.
Yeah.
But enjoy the extra day because I don't think this comes live till the 26th. They said
Right.
So enjoy the extra day on the 25th to get your Yumis out and then say goodbye.
I will be
for
treating
this
it
patch.
as if the patch is out, so I'll still be reporting you. Even in ARAM, I'm going to be reporting you in Champ Select because they told us now that reporting in Champ Select does shit. It doesn't, but they said it, and it makes me feel better. Fuck you, Steven. Tell me about Zoe.
There's
All right.
Zooey.
So she's getting a buff. Her E is now reducing opponents' magic resist when they're asleep. Why this champion needs more burst, I am not sure.
She's not played right now, probably. That's probably why.
She's still pretty strong.
Oh, she is. I'm
Yeah.
just-
So new, putting the trouble in the bubble. Enemies inflicted with sleep from Zoe's. Yes, thank you. Sleep trouble bubble. Now have their magic resist reduced by 20 to
Bro.
30%.
What?
That's only while they're asleep.
Yeah,
But
and it
Holy
their magic
shit.
resist goes back as soon as they wake up, but that is a shit ton. I stopped playing this champion. I'm gonna start playing it again.
so you no longer need to build Void Staff on Zoe.
Yep.
Because that would be a waste. You actually wouldn't be reducing. It would be extremely inefficient. So you would just go flat pen. So Shadow Flame. What else could you build? It's like flat pen.
And just the boots.
I guess-
Boots, Shadow Flame. There's something else.
I mean, unless the enemy team has like 3 tanks building Jack
Sure.
Show with like 250 magic resist, I'd probably still go Void Staff.
But
But
that's not that common.
20 to 30%,
That's a lot.
that's a lot.
That's a Blighting Jewel, which is the precursor to Void Staff. I think is it 15 or is it 20?
I think it's something like that.
Mm,
Like
me
you
see.
get that's actually fucking ridiculous. Especially for a skill that you max at second anyways, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're not getting any extra value out of the W.
13% magic penetration.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're getting what 2/3?
You're getting a lot.
Blighting Jewel's 2/3 the value of that. Whatever the opposite of that is the fraction I'm looking for. Fuck me, I can't do math. Fighter item adjustments.
Yeah, we'll move on.
Good segue. Eclipse, everyone's favorite item. That's
Oh, you're
fucking
stoked
Aatrox's
about
blade.
this.
I'm
Omnivamp
happy
from
about it
7 to
too.
0. Let's go. I should get up and do a fucking dance right now, dude.
Do a flip.
Ability haste 0 to 15. Fuck me.
That's fine.
Just Aatrox, dude. Just Aatrox.
Oh, it's gone now. There's no way. I'm reporting you now too if you fucking build Eclipse on Aatrox.
Shield cooldown 8 seconds for melee, 16 seconds for ranged champions was what it was. It's now 6 and 12, so more shield. And item recipe update. So it was Serrated Dirk Longsword and Vampiric Scepter. Since there's no more lifesteal, Vampiric Scepter goes bye-bye, and it's Serrated Dirk and Caulfields. Total cost is unchanged, which I think makes sense. It's actually just means your combined cost is going to be 100 gold more expensive, because it was 950 plus 350, which was 400. Caulfield's only 1100. Yeah. So your total combined cost be more expensive. Your components be a little bit cheaper. Syzygy getting a similar, which Syzygy is just the Ornn item. It's gonna have 0 Omnivamp, but 20 ability haste.
No, I really fuck with this because this kind of comes down to the same thing as,
Too many stats in one fucking item.
and like Graves, we said Aatrox. I know Caitlyn. If Caitlyn's going like Dark Harvest, Lethality, Caitlyn. I mean, it was 7% Omnivamp, which is a lot. It's not bad.
In this too for a little bit.
Sure.
Yeah.
But this is, I believe this is absolutely killing it now. This is an assassin item.
Yep.
This is great.
Zed and Talon will still make really good use of this fucking item. Make no mistake, like assassins, the 80 assassins make great use of this item. More shielding, and now you get ability haste. Like even Kayn would make a really good use out of this item. So it's still viable, but it is back in the hands of where it belongs, assassins.
All right, moving on. Gore Drinker. Again, confused why it says removed. Mythic passive was 7 ability haste, but now it is 50 health plus 3 ability haste. I'm fine with that.
Okay.
It's more of it's a bruiser item. Give bruisers HP.
Right.
Totally fine.
And a little bit less ability haste. So yeah, I'm cool. I'm cool with that.
Yeah. Steven, tell us
Ravenous Hydra. It's so they're updating Pick Eater, which was the 10% Omnivamp. It's getting switched over just to 10% Lifesteal.
Let's go. Let's fucking go.
Wait, no. Okay.
Yes.
Keep going.
The ability haste is jumping up by 5 from 20 to 25. And new big appetite. Cleave damage will now trigger the Lifesteal.
So because it was Omnivamp, the cleave damage triggered Omnivamp. But when it turns to Lifesteal only affects on auto attacks. Does not affect on
abilities.
Any extra on it. So like you used to see it like Bork was the reason you would build Bork for on hit, because Lifesteal doesn't affect on hit. Omnivamp affects on that, but I think they had changed that back a while ago. But the way this works is that Omnivamp would work on these AoE item buffs, but Lifesteal did not. So they're just saying, hey, we're gonna remove this as Omnivamp, so you're not getting it on your abilities, but you'll still get the Lifesteal on the cleave.
Yeah, this is
Thank
another
you.
item that like Aatrox would build.
Yep.
I think Fiora is fine because Fiora's Q is still an auto attack.
Sure.
This
Jin won't build this item anymore.
This actually, I don't know. This makes me a little nervous because if it's Lifesteal, I feel like Lucian could make use of this, just auto attacking. I feel like some other ADs can use it. The ability haste is kind of That's why I think it would be good on Lucian.
Yeah. Ezreal, Lucian, spellcaster types, yeah.
I'm just scared they're moving. It's like the Patrick meme. Let's take Bikini Bottom and push it somewhere else. It was a problem on these healing bruisers, but now I feel like a whole nother like category can use this, and it's still gonna be fucking annoying. It still stacks AD.
I don't like the stacking AD on minion kills. I don't like that, but
don't forget about it. Yeah.
I don't think I'm gonna have a stance on that argument. So, Mav Malmortius is next on the list. Lifeline Omnivamp. Bye-bye. 10% Omnivamp and hello 12% Lifesteal, which is weird, but okay. AD going up from 55 to 65, but is losing all ability haste, so from 20 to 0. The item recipe is also being updated. It was Hex Drinker and Caulfields. It's now Hex Drinker, Pickaxe, and Longsword. I feel like they should have changed Pickaxe for Vampiric Scepter if they're going to give it Lifesteal instead of Omnivamp. But
that's Lifeline passive, though.
That's true. But yeah, either way, total cost unchanged. I really don't give a shit what the build path is. In fact, having 3 items is more difficult than having 2 items, so it's just harder to build, in my opinion. Bring us on to the... oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, this one kind of confuses me, because, like, the Omnivamp was for, like, bruisers. I'm going to keep using Aatrox as an example. But, like, they're increasing the AD, they're getting rid of the ability haste, so it's like, okay, an auto attack based champion would make great use of this.
Right.
But there's literally a 33% chance that they're going to build cringe bow, and that's gonna have lifeline passive, and they can't use this. I'm just
It's like they're weakening it on assassins is really what I'm thinking. Like it looks more targeted towards assassins because assassins make great use of Omnivamp. They don't always make great use of lifesteal because of the auto attack base, and not a lot of assassins really use the auto. I mean, they use the auto attacks, they weave them, but they're more spellcaster type. Think Talon Zed. Like yeah, Zed and Talon do auto attack, but they use their spells more than the auto attack, right?
what's confusing though is like they're like buffing the healing aspect, even though it's lifesteal now. It's just weird to me. I feel like they would have kept it the same. I'm just confused on this one.
I think so. The reason I don't think it's weird is just because you can't get that off using your ability. Like you have to get
I
that
understand
off of the
that.
auto attack. So like it's higher value if you can get your auto attack off, but that's also higher risk.
But the assassins aren't building attack speed, so it's not really going to benefit them that much.
Sure, but they are building a massive fuck ton of AD. AD assassins are at least, and so they're gonna get more value out of that auto attack. If again, if they're willing to go up and take the auto attack, high risk, high reward.
I don't know. I'm just so wonky on this because like I don't know why they're dropping the ability haste too. It could have maybe that one's
part I don't
weird.
know.
Like I like building. I personally feel like Sterix. If we're talking about lifeline passive items, Sterix is like kind of weak. I don't ever build if I'm playing like a bruiser jungle. If I'm playing Vi and they have heavy magic damage, I want to do more damage. I will definitely go Malmortius. I don't know if I'm going to do it now. Sure, Vi can benefit from like auto attacks and life steals, but the 20 ability haste? Come on, bruh.
Yeah, it sounds like they're kind of nerfing lifeline
It's
anyways.
just so
because
fucking weird.
the only one really that gets most usage is cringe bow. So it just seems like they're just telling you if you want lifeline passive, build cringe bow.
Steven, thoughts?
I think this is gonna actually be pretty good on champions like Riven, where you're, like Tyler said, intermittently weaving in auto attacks with skills.
I completely get that, but then
Aurelia?
come back to the ability haste. That's just
You do, yeah,
Riven needs that shit.
Yeah, sure.
It's very
for sure.
confusing. Anyways, Death Dance. Attack damage was 55, now it is 65. Armor was 45, now it is 50. Gutting the ability haste, 0. The healing oh my god, the healing on takedown was 120% bonus AD. Now it is 50% bonus AD. That is fucking terrible. That is a heavy nerf.
Yeah, it is.
And then yada yada changing the recipe. Wow, they're changing healing a lot. That's like just hitting me right now. This is so fucking weird.
Probably
I
not
wonder-
because
Oh, no, go ahead.
the whole oh god, now I can't remember what it's called. Building
Okay.
Oblivion Orb and
Oh,
Grievous?
we'll get to that in a
Grievous
second.
Wounds. I mean, I've always felt like it doesn't do really anything, so maybe this is
Right.
the answer to that.
Right.
This is wild. I mean, we see a lot of like, man.
I have a question. It kind of weaves in with this and with Ma, more on Ma, but because these are overall nerfs, sometimes you see the AD carries build these items, and you're seeing the ability haste drop. Do you think that has anything to do with the emergence of Navori Quick Blades?
Maybe.
Do you think maybe that's why they're dropping the ability haste, is saying if we leave this, these champions are going to build Navori Quick Blades, and then they're never going to build fucking Cringe Bow because you have Lifeline on Ma, right? So they're never going to build that because they're going to get their Lifeline passive from Ma.
That's
So
I
I'm
guess,
wondering,
Takes whole mythic out of the game.
right? It just kind of hit me as you were starting to go into Death's Dance, and then I'm looking at Death's Dance losing ability haste and losing healing. Again, another item that situationally it's not great on range because it's definitely nerfed on range, but situationally you could put it on a range champion just to survive some fucking damage as the bleed. You know what I mean? Because you don't always build it for the health boost, but you do build it for the damage taken as a bleed, so that way you can survive and use more attacks. And so I'm just wondering if we think maybe this has anything to do with the possible emergence of quick blades, and just trying to mitigate some of the OP ass builds, because I hadn't thought about that till now, but I almost could guarantee you, right? It's like, hey, we're gonna push this up here, and because it gives you basically free ability haste in a way, we should nerf these other fringe items, so that way they don't become mainstay items.
Yeah, it's kind of what I was saying, where like it feels like they're trying to change Maw from a bruiser. Like I could see ADs building it now.
I just wonder if they were thinking ahead, like we think ADs are gonna try to build this, so we need to nerf some of the points out of it, because if they are gonna build it, we don't want them to have fucking some of the points of some of these AD carries that they have longer cooldowns.
So then
So it's harder to, you know what I mean?
it's almost like inadvertently like it's so
They're trying to get ahead of it. I feel like
they're
a little bit.
these are like inadvertently building or buffing champions that don't like it's a nerf. I mean, if Lucian, obviously Lucian loves ability haste, but like Caitlyn doesn't need ability haste.
Right.
This is 10 extra damage. This is lifesteal now she
Right,
can utilize.
right.
So it's way better. So again, it feels like they're just I'd be curious to see where this is going to turn out.
I'm
Like,
actually
what's-
super curious.
Death's Dance is just that's gutted though for like bruisers. So it's going to feel good actually being able to kill fucking
Do you guys think it
Darius's
just-
or whatever.
You guys think they just remove Aatrox from the game at this point? They've nerfed about every item that he used, right?
Pretty much.
I'm-
Hydra, Eclipse, Death's Dance, even
putting-
Maw is a situational item for him. So
Your next champion on my insta ban, we got Yumi. What else did I say? Who else did I say? I was gonna ban if I saw
dude,
them.
I'll ban fucking. Oh, if someone plays Aatrox,
Yeah,
you
if
put
someone
that
plays
on that
Aatrox,
list.
they're done. I'm banning you.
Aatrox, Yumi, what the fuck else did you say?
I'm going trying to go back up. I can't.
I know. I don't remember what it was that you said. Fuck.
Whatever. It doesn't matter.
Just play Teemo instead if you think you're gonna fucking play one of those champions. Just play Teemo. Like I would rather you just play fucking Teemo. And would you look at that guy? Oh, we didn't do Black Cleaver yet. I'm
Nope.
sorry.
Black
Go for it.
Cleaver. Easy. Attack damage is 45 to 50, and health is 350 to 400. So an overall buff for Black Cleaver.
I
That's
like it.
keeping Darius relevant. Okay. Grievous Wounds, which we were just talking about, like Steven just mentioned,
Eeth.
sucks balls.
Eeth.
There is a 3.5 paragraph little blurb here, and I don't fucking care to read it because we've already had you guys here for an hour. So let's just get into the buffs and or nerfs, if everyone is in agreement with that.
Oh baby, there are buffs.
All right, so
Overall, yeah.
Overall.
I'm gonna do these 3 items because they all go together.
Go for it.
Oblivion Orb ability power is dropping from 35 to 30, but Grievous Wounds from 25 to 40%. Let's
Holy
fucking
let's
go!
Go, baby.
This is gonna bleed into obviously Chemtech Putrefier and Morellonomicon as they both build out of that item. The build path for Putrefier is gonna change a little bit. So it was Oblivion Orb, Bandle Glass, and 550 gold, which left a total cost of 2,500. It's now Oblivion Orb, Forbidden Idol, let's fucking go, plus 700 gold, bringing a total cost of 2,300 gold. So it's going to be a little bit cheaper.
Cheap
It's
as
going to be
shit.
more expensive after you get the components. So just remember that part. You are going to lose 20 ability power from 60 to 40, and you are going to lose 5 ability haste for that 200 gold from 20 to 15. But you get increased healing and shielding from 0 to 8%. And the application is reworked. Now causes 40% grievous wounds on any damage application. With Putrefier, you have to heal or shield someone to give them the grievous passive. So that is going to always be 40%, whereas in the past it was 25 if you didn't do that and 40 if you did. Morellonomicon is going to lose 100 health. 300 to 200 health is now the thing. It's going to gain 10 magic pen back. That is a revert from seasons past. Not a full revert, a slight revert. And Grievous Wounds was 25, increased to 40 if they're below 50%. No one cares. It's now 40% all the fucking time, forever. Let's go.
All right, let me go through the next one, and then we
And
can
then we'll give
discuss
Steven the
this.
last 3 items. Yep.
We'll discuss it as a whole. All right, Executioner's Calling. Attack damage was 20. Now it is 15.
Okay.
But of course, Grievous Wounds 25% to 40%.
Thank you.
Fucking start buying this item again if you're playing top lane. If you're not playing support, okay. Another thing to add to my list. If you're playing an enchanter support and you do not buy Chemtech, especially now that it gives fucking healing and shielding strength,
You're trolling.
you're trolling.
You're banned.
I am
Bad
calling Mark Merrill and whatever the other guy's
Yes.
fucking name is. Trinimirran Rise, and I'm
Trinimirran
telling
Rise,
them
right?
ban you. All right, Chempunk Chainsword, same thing, dropping 580, 20 to 15, and then the Grievous Wounds is going to the flat 40% across the board. And then finally, Mortal Reminder. This one I did see. This one is very interesting. Build path is changing. Executioner's Calling Zeal plus 750 gold. Now it is Executioner's Calling and a Last Whisper and a Cloak of Agility plus
Holy
150
shit.
gold.
That's a partial revert again.
So attack
It
speed
used to be on
going.
the Last Whisper, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, okay.
armor or attack speed going bye-bye. Armor pen 30%. Movement speed going bye-bye, and then the same 40% across the board.
Actually, I think it's a dead ass revert because it goes back up to 3,000 gold, like Lord Dom's, right? You get the armor pen back, and you get the full fucking. I'm pretty sure it's a full on fucking revert
This
from
one,
like 2 or 3 seasons ago, but
I
full on
believe
revert.
you're correct.
it's, and then I guess Lord Dom's is getting 5 extra damage. So this is very
sure.
interesting now because giving it armor, because I always remembered it as giving it armor pen,
Right.
and obviously the difference if you to make the choice is you either want Grievous Wounds or you want to deal damage to champions
tanks.
that have way more HP than you.
You want to kill a drain tank or you want to kill a regular tank?
So wait, this is falling into the same category where like Lord Dom's and Shurelya's falls into, where if you buy one, you can't buy the other.
I'm gonna assume.
I would assume so because you're not gonna have 2 Last Whisper items.
Right.
Yeah.
So you have to choose one.
Right.
It's gonna feel nice with
just like
armor
Lifeline
pen
too.
though. It's
Yeah.
gonna feel nice with armor pen.
True.
Oh, 100%. You're just not gonna get the Giant Slayer bonus.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, well, Steven, give me the last 2 Grievous items. Arguably the worst 2.
Bramble Vest.
Hold your tongue.
Yeah. Bramble Vest is magic damage reflected to attackers is going from 4 to 6. The Grievous Wounds is going from 25% to 40%.
This item fucking desperately fucking needed that. Sorry to interrupt before you get on to the next one.
Perfectly
Desperately
fine.
fucking needed that because it fucking sucks otherwise. All right, go ahead.
Thornmail is magic damage reflected to attackers is 10 plus 20% bonus armor is going up to 10 to 25% bonus armor. So a buff to pretty much Rammus. Grievous Wounds is 25% on taking damage, 40% on immobilizing enemies. It's now 40% on taking damage, period.
Big, massive.
I wish they
fucking
kept the immobilizing in there as
No.
well, but
No. It doesn't matter now because
40
if you
to
get hit by
60 on immobilizing enemies. That
No,
would
but
stop. This is if you take
could-
damage from spell damage now, you can apply Grievous Wounds.
Yep.
It doesn't matter.
right. I'm just thinking like,
That's perfectly
well,
fine.
I guess they nerfed Yumi into the ground. I was gonna say because like you could get onto someone with a Yumi and he could heal just to get away, and they don't take the Grievous, but it may not matter. So yeah, you might be right. Maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe that's why.
If someone is hitting you from long range, and you just take
you're
it,
definitely-
magic
yeah.
damage too. Any fucking damage. That is
right.
just so fucking good.
No, I'm okay
I
with
always,
that.
I always felt weird about the immobilizing thing. It's like, oh, okay, so like, because obviously it was 25 if you
Alistair.
just get auto attacked.
Right. Which
It
was
just
dumb.
felt weird. But this is
like that's not really what Thorns is, right? Like Thorns.
exactly any damage.
Maybe if you flipped it, if you said 25% on immobilizing, okay, sure, because that's not really what that does. But like Thorns as a thing that exists in fantasy games everywhere, in D&D,
Diablo.
Magic, Diablo. Fucking pick a fantasy game. Thorns exists. It's a fucking regular mechanic, which is where Thornmail comes from. In case you didn't know, if you were uncultured, I'm sorry. Is always a damage reflection of some percentage or whatever it is. Always a damage reflection on being hit. You deal damage back. It's never a whole lot, but it's something. So yeah, for them to have weakened that before was dumb and out of character for an item based around Thorns. So I do like that they brought it back. The immobilizing thing is kind of weird, I guess, but I always thought it was an interesting mechanic to play with. I think that there's something that they could do with that. I don't know 100% what the best thing to do is, but I think there's something they could do with that if they wanted to ever bring that back.
This makes me feel better about building, because like tanks, it just felt like you said, it kind of sucks to be a tank and build this item, and like you'd have to go balls deep to apply the full 40%. So now you can apply that 40% as you're engaging before you get to the target, and they're already getting afflicted by the grievous wounds now.
Right.
And I would feel bad building this into enemies that have a healthy mix of magic damage. If I get hit by a Xerath Q, as I'm Rammus queuing in, I get hit by a Xerath Q, he's already got the grievous wounds on him. I love it. This is fucking great. Wonderful. Okay, so that was those items. So let's move down.
We have all the ADCs, and we can rapid fire these ADCs.
Yeah,
because
it's pretty small.
Yeah, it's all mana growth stuff.
Let's see. Let me run. I'm just gonna go through really fucking
rapid
quick.
Fire all of them.
Yeah. Ash mana growth was 32. Now it's 35. Mana regen growth was 0.5. Now it is 0.65. Caitlyn mana growth was 35. Now it is 40. Mana regen growth was 0.55. Now it is 0.7. That one's for Freak. You have no mana. Ezreal mana regen growth was 0.65. Now it is 1. Jhin Deadly Flourish mana cost was 50 to 90. Now it is 50 to 70. Big. And then Captive Audience mana cost was 30 to 50. Now it is 30 at all ranks. Jinx base mana was 245. Now it is 260. Mana growth was 45. Now it is 50. Zap mana cost was 50 to 90. Now it is 50 to 70. Kai'Sa base mana was 344.88. Now it is a whopping 345. Mana growth was 38. Now it is 40. Mana regen growth was 0.45. Now it is 0.7. Misfortune mana growth was 35. Now it is 40. Mana regen was 8.05. Now it is 8. Mana regen growth was 0.65. Now it is 0.8. Senna mana regeneration growth was 0.4. Now it is 0.7. Sivir mana growth was 40. Now it is 45. And then the W Ricochet mana cost was 60 to 80. Now it is a flat 60 at all ranks. Twitch base mana was 287.2.
Why?
Now it's 300. Mana regen growth was 0.45. Now it's 0.7. And then Xayah mana regrowth was 0.75. Now it's 0.8.
Okay, can you all name the common thread?
0.8. Yes.
No. These are all champions that may possibly want to build Navori Quickblades. And if you're going to cast more spells, what do you need?
Mana.
More mana. That's
all right.
That's how that breaks down, guys. As simple as that. So, last few are the 3 other items. Steven, tell me about this first one.
All right, Blade of the Ruined King, Bork. They're adjusting it just strictly due to probably the Navori Quickblades and IE stuff. Yep. But the cooldown is going from 20 seconds to 30 seconds on its passive thing. If I could remember
the slow.
Yeah.
Yep.
That one. Ranged on hit damage is going from 8% to 9%. And Siphon bonus magic damage is going from 40 to 150, levels 1 through 18, to 40 to 103, levels 9 through 18.
No more first building this item.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Yep.
Cool. Demonic Embrace. So, obviously this item is fucking busted. So, they're bringing it down a little bit. Maximum health burn was 1.8 for melee, 1.8% for melee, and 0.8 for ranged. It's now dropping to 1.6 for melee and 1% for range. So a buff for range and a nerf for melees, because it was irrationally strong on melees compared to ranged, I think is the
AP
phrase
tanks.
I'm thinking of.
Tanks that deal magic damage.
Yes, I think that's how I wanted to say that. I don't know if irrationally strong is the right word, but
even then, it doesn't really seem like much.
It's not much, but
it
it's just
makes a
the ratio is
over the course of the game, it'll make a huge difference.
Right. Yeah, like the ratio is just not in tune. So, okay, and lastly, Dean, what do we got?
Essence Reaver attack damage was 45. Now it is 55, and then total gold cost was 28, and now it is 2,900.
And one last piece in the system, Steven.
Ooh, what?
Tell me about everyone's favorite dragon.
Oh, Chemtech Drake. Sorry, I wasn't looking at that yet.
That's okay.
Scroll down.
I was looking at the ARAM balances to see if
no
Lilia
one gives
was
a
in
shit.
there.
No one gives a shit.
Lilia is not in there.
I was gonna say nothing.
She's going to be so strong.
Fucking in there. Like,
Wait, everyone just fucking stop. What is this format? Why the fuck?
Why is
I'm
ARAM
losing my
balances
fucking
before
mind.
systems?
I'm losing my fucking
I
mind
don't know.
right now.
I don't
Someone
know. I don't know either.
sat on
Usually
a
ARAM's
fucking
at the top.
dildo and was typing this.
Oh,
There's
They was
also
distracted.
there's an
oh.
ERF adjustment in there as well. Just so
Oh
you know.
God! Don't even tell me about the dragon.
Yeah.
All
Great
right,
episode.
Kimtech Drake has been settling back into the rift and adjusting well. So they are doing a Kimtech Drake buff, 5% tenacity and heal and shield power to 6% tenacity and healed and shield power. The soul is going to be 10% damage resistance and increased damage dealt when below 50% health to 11% damage resistance and increased damage dealt when below 50% health.
Wow, wonderful.
That's great. Lunar Emperor Thresh looks fucking sick. Fuck all of you if you disagree. I don't care. That shit looks fucking dope as fuck.
Stupid. Actually stupid. I'm just kidding.
And just one quick shout out because this is a long fucking episode. Sorcery, I hope this gets you through your ride to work.
That's it, guys.
I got nothing else.
Yeah,
We've
it's a
eaten
long
up enough of
episode.
everybody's time, so
Yeah. I
look through these if we went over something a little too fast. Go back and look at the notes. Some of them can be confusing. Obviously not as confusing as Zarya can be, but some of them can be confusing if you're not used to some of the shit that's going on, and there's a lot of fucking shit going on here. So,
and maybe explain to us why this is called 13.1b. I don't think this is a hot fix. This should. I don't fucking know. Maybe
explanation.
Maybe they stated something. They shared something somewhere explaining why it's 13 point whatever. I don't know. I don't know.
why do they put B's on them? Why isn't it just like 13.1.1? Like if we're gonna go point, why are we adding letters in there? That's just something I always thought, and just wondering like, could this not just be 13.1.1 and then the next one 13.1.2 if you just want to make little shit here instead of getting a C adjustment patch, which I almost feel like we're gonna get anyways. Some fucking hot fix 13.1 C, like
No, it'll be like 3 instead of C.
yeah,
Third iteration
you're
of this
right.
patch, it's gonna be 3.
Who the fuck knows?
13.1B.2.5. Got it.
But yeah, that is it, guys. Steven, thank you for joining us. Hopefully, we can
course.
have you on
Yes.
more episodes too. But for anybody listening, hit the display or the description of wherever you are listening. Hit the link tree, join the Discord, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, wherever. Wherever you're listening right now, make sure to like, rate, review, whatever the fuck. I got some more gameplay coming up on the YouTube, so make sure you head over to the YouTube, search According to Low Elo. And yeah, we just want people to join the Discord. We're playing games, we're streaming. Just come hang out. We want to meet you. My fucking voice is shot, and I'm ready to go to bed. So
Same. It's 10 o'clock, so
we will be back on Friday for Champion Review. So we will see you then, guys. Have a good week.
be safe.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Make sure to like the video and sub to the channel if you haven't already. Click right here to see the previous episode of the According to Low Elo podcast. Click right here to see the most recent gameplay video. Thanks again.